Hello and welcome. Today we are diving deep into something called the SE Box. It's India's official online portal for handling sexual harassment complaints. Now, if you're in HR or any kind of management role, getting to know this system isn't just a good idea, it's a legal must-do. So let's get right into it. So let me start with a question every single organization in India needs to be thinking about. Are you truly ready for a POSH audit? Because these days, compliance isn't just about having a policy written down somewhere. It's become a very active, very verifiable requirement that authorities are really starting to enforce. And this isn't just coming from anywhere. This urgency is coming straight from the top. The Supreme Court has actually mandated a time-bound verification to make sure every organization has a properly set up internal committee, or what we call an IC. And guess what? Registering on the SheBox portal is now an absolutely critical part of proving you've done your part. All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to cover 5 key things. First, we'll talk about why you even need to register. Then I'll explain the whole system using a really simple analogy. Third, we'll define the key players involved. And then we'll get practical and walk through the 2 main steps, getting your head office registered and then adding your internal committee and any other branches. So let's kick things off with the big why. What is the real point of getting your organization on this portal? Well, at its heart, it's all about creating a direct, secure, and most importantly, a trackable channel for a really serious issue. The C-Box, which stands for Sexual Harassment Electronic Box, is basically one national platform for any woman to file a workplace harassment complaint. When a complaint comes in through the portal, it gets sent directly to the right people, which for most companies is going to be your own internal committee. The system just cuts through the confusion, creates an official paper trail, and really boosts transparency and accountability for everyone. Now, I know the system might seem like it has a few moving parts, but it's actually pretty logical once you break it down. And to make it super simple, we're going to use an analogy that I'm pretty sure you'll get right away. I want you to think of it like this. The entire SheBox portal is like a central district office for workplace safety. It's the main administrative hub, and it oversees all the individual schools. And in our story, the schools are all the different companies and their branches. It's the one central place for registration and making sure everyone's following the rules. Okay, so within this whole school district system, your company needs to assign 2 very important roles. And believe me, getting these roles right is absolutely critical to making the process work smoothly. Let's break down who these people are. First step, you have the nodal officer. This person is your organization's one and only authorized point of contact for all the administrative stuff on the portal. They're the ones who handle the setup, the paperwork, and managing the overall structure. So, sticking with our analogy, if SheBox is the big district office, then your nodal officer is your company's official registrar. They are the person who officially registers the main office, the main school building, if you will, and then adds any new campuses or branches, and basically manages all the records on the portal. The second key role is the internal committee, or the IC. This is the group inside your organization that's legally required to actually receive, investigate, and manage any complaints that come in. Their job is purely investigative. Okay, this is probably the single most important rule you need to remember. There's a very strict separation of duties here. The nodal officer has an administrative role. They manage the portal. The IC has an investigative role. They handle the cases. The same person cannot do both jobs. And it makes perfect sense, right? You wouldn't want the person managing the entire system to also be the one investigating a sensitive complaint. The portal actually enforces this by giving each role a totally separate, unique login. All right, let's get into the practical, step-by-step stuff. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with registering your main head office. This is the foundation that everything else is built on top of. The process itself is pretty straightforward. You'll head over to the official SheBox website, find and click the option for private head office registration, and then you'll just fill out the required details for your company and for your designated nodal officer. After you verify a one-time password that gets sent to their email, you'll upload a document to prove you're a real company and then hit submit. Now, when it's time to upload that verification document, the portal makes it easy by giving you 3 choices. You only need to upload one of these. Either your company registration certificate, your GST registration certificate, or your company's PAN card. Any one of those will do the trick. So once you hit submit, it doesn't just get approved instantly. Your application goes to a government official called the District Nodal Officer, or DNO. They're the ones who will double-check your information. Once they approve it, they will email the login credentials directly to your company's nodal officer. Okay, so your head office nodal officer has the keys to the kingdom. They've got the login details. So what's next? Well, their first big job is to build out your company's full structure on the portal. And that means adding your internal committee and any branch offices you might have. This little flowchart here shows the hierarchy perfectly. See how it works? It all starts with the head office nodal officer, who logs in first. They have the power to add a new branch and assign a specific nodal officer just for that branch. Then that new branch nodal officer gets their own login details, and their first job is to log in and register the members of their local internal committee. It's a clear top-down process. The actual process of adding your IC members happens right from the dashboard. You'll navigate over to Workplace and IC Management, choose IC Registration, and you'll always start by entering the details for the IC chairperson. They're also called the presiding officer. After that, you just click Add More to put in the rest of the members, and make sure you don't forget to include your mandatory external member. Once everyone's in, just hit Register to save it all. Whew! We have covered a lot of ground here, from the big picture ideas down to the nitty-gritty steps. So let's just take a second to quickly recap the absolute most important points that you need to take away from all this. Okay, you ready? Here is your 30-second summary. First, SheBox registration is now mandatory, and this is being pushed by the Supreme Court. Second, remember the golden rule. The nodal officer is an admin role and can never be an IC member. Third, the process always starts with registering the head office. And finally, once that head office is registered, its nodal officer is the one who adds branches and assigns their own nodal officers. Got it? And there you have it, your guide to SheBox registration. If you found this breakdown useful, please do me a favor and take a moment to like this explainer, subscribe for more guides like this one, and please share it with any colleagues or classmates in HR or management who really need to see this. We'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Getting registered on SHEBox is all about compliance, and it's a super important first step. But the bigger question is, once all the forms are filed and the boxes are checked, is your workplace culture truly ready to support the principles behind the law? Something to think about. Thanks so much for